Welcome to the Newstrength Way, a podcast made for empowering people to become their strongest selves through movement, education and connection. What's going on, guys? It's Nathan Jacob here, and today on episode 1 we're going to be talking to you guys about getting started on your fitness journey. So first of all, I'm going to get Jake to kick us off. Obviously we see a lot of guys and help a lot of people come through and kick off their fitness journeys, and something that Jake and I wanted to talk to you guys about today is some common mistakes that we see consistently when people tend to want to change and want to move forward in their, say, fitness journey. So Jake, obviously working with a lot of people over the last few years, what do you feel as though is a very common mistake when people come to you and they want to get started and they feel like they're ready to make a change and move forward?
Yeah, I guess the first thing when we go through these is always the expectations versus reality on it. Like, a lot of the time people believe they can achieve way more in 12 weeks than is possible, and then they underestimate what they can do in 12 months time. Where like they see, whether it's The Biggest Loser or just a lot of marketing around the fitness space about people lost this much weight or put this much size on in 8 weeks, and they believe that it's all real, when a lot of the time that's not necessarily the truth that comes into it. And then I guess they just don't get a realistic expectation on themselves, and it can somewhat lead to them not sticking with it long term because they don't end up meeting their expectations as well, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. What do you feel as though has helped you get people on the right track or the right headspace moving forward with that? So say, obviously you've seen a lot of people come to you and probably are looking for those same changes in 12 weeks. What do you feel as though has helped you guide them on the right path instead of them getting caught up in the, say, quick fixes and things like that?
I guess it comes up to, like, we have to be upfront and transparent with them that a lot of the time, if they do have these way out beliefs that they want to drop 10 kilos in 4 weeks or whatever it is, like, it's probably not going to happen. Or if it is going to happen, it's probably going to harm them in the long run as well. So I guess like, as a coach, we have to be very transparent with our clients as to what's real and what's not. And sometimes it can probably shoot us in the foot a little bit. Like, people don't want to hear that, and it can kind of dampen a little bit of their motivation in that way. But I think when you're on that page, it starts to gain trust with people, that then we can then go through a few more of the important processes that we feel like is going to transfer to much more sustainable progress, and then them actually reaching those goals rather than getting disheartened 12 weeks in along the process when they're not already there and they thought they would have smashed it by now, and then just giving up and stopping and going back to further away from where they started.
Yeah, I think something that's definitely helped us since opening up here is it seems as though we attract now the people that have already done that and they're looking for something different, which is awesome. But I know, like, we've both been in the industry for a pretty long time now, and before it was very much trying to educate people, but now I think people are starting to source us out as the educators, so it's really good and makes our life a lot easier, most certainly. So say if you had someone come in now, Jake, and they wanted to get started on their fitness and health journey, wanted to kill it, and said, yeah, I'm ready to be educated, like, what's the best process to move through? What do you feel as though your first few steps to them will be?
Yeah, I think the first one's always getting very clear on why the goal's important to them. Going through a few things like the 5 whys process is really simple way of getting to that, and just really attaching that goal to why it's meaningful to them is the first and foremost piece, because that's going to help on those days when it's not feeling so good. Like, it's much easier to get up and go and get the job done when you need to, and you don't necessarily want to, when you know how important it is towards your end goal and what that means to you. But I think that's always the first one, and then going from there, it's working towards what their fundamentals are of what they need that they don't have right now to get them to that goal. Do they need to know how to cook food better to then make it more interesting for them to reach their goals with their diet, or is it that they know how to cook but they just can't be bothered? Like, is it a motivation thing around there, or putting the time in, or knowing what they need to eat? Like, whatever the goal is, like, there's always going to be something in between where they are right now and where they want to be, and identifying what those things that they're going to need to have at that end goal to get there that they don't have now are really an essential process for us to identify and move forward with our clients.
Yeah, definitely. I think pretty much what you're saying there is to create a somewhat clear path in between point A and point B.
Definitely.
I think the clearer the path is, the easier it is to stay motivated because you know where you're at. And I think that comes back to what you said before about the honesty in the process and not trying to sell a quick fix. If you can plan something out and be realistic about the process, then it's much more likely to be adhered to, and then the end result is success. Right?
For sure. And I think that helps lead into a lot of the things that we teach here with our clients. Like we've got down on our goals board with a lot of the 3 words: consistency, momentum, progress. And that's essentially, if you know what that path looks like getting to your ultimate goal, and you know what those little stepping stones that need to happen in order for you to get there, and you're just ticking over one of them at a time, it makes it a lot easier to get towards that end goal because you know you're seeing yourself move forward there. It's easier to stay consistent. Staying consistent provides you with momentum. Once you've got the ball rolling and you've got momentum behind you, it's harder to stop than it is to keep it going. And I think that's something that has a huge effect with people, that a lot of people probably don't even acknowledge or recognize that that's part of it. They look at A and B and they don't necessarily look at that process in between, which is really where everything happens.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's us for this episode here to start it off with. Anything else you got to add, Nate?
No, I pretty much covered it. Just going through those steps, and I think getting clear on the path in between where you are now and where you want to be, and having a realistic outlook too, and having the stepping stones along the way will help the most. I think it's all well and good to throw a goal out there and then start working hard without like a procedure to follow. But when you have steps lined out and you know where you're going to be in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and when that goal will pop up, and also having the ability to adapt along the way, and you'll be much more successful.
Definitely. See you next time, guys.
See you guys.